and gentlemen, let's talk about tomorrow's game. We got the playoff implications. The Tennessee Titans are in Jacksonville. And ladies and gentlemen, can you believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars are a 6.5-point favorite in this game? I mean, we understand why. They're playing their fifth-string quarterback who was bagging groceries a couple of weeks ago. And the total is 40 points. Andrew.
What's he on the Lions practice squad?
What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I definitely think that the Jaguars are the overwhelming favorite just because of what you mentioned there, the quarterback situation. You got a guy that was literally on the practice squad for the Lions a couple weeks ago, now starting in the most important game of the Titans season. And that's not who you want behind center, obviously, but they got no other choice. Jacksonville's been really they've been wild the last couple of weeks here. They've been really taking a different image to the team overall. And as a Giant fan, I'm just glad we paid them early this season, not later in the season. So I got Jacksonville to win this, cover the spread. And I do think it's going to be a pretty decent scoring game for them as well, because I think, to be honest, the Titans are just going to be just trampled over.
Cool. Peter?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Trevor Lawrence threw for 4 touchdowns earlier on in the season. I expect the same here with this Titans defense. It's very inconsistent. Titans team overall is inconsistent, and they've definitely been hurt by injuries. How about this story, guys? In 2022, the Jacksonville Jaguars go from the worst team, one of the worst teams in the league, to a playoff team. I'm betting Jacksonville. Playoffs! I'm betting on Jacksonville to win outright here over the Tennessee Titans.
It's almost like Urban Meyer was a bad coach.
Oh, you think?
Oh, no, it's almost like that.
You think?
And I'll tell you what I like.
Urban Meyer. Here's what Urban Meyer stands for. There you go. Urban Meyer.
No. Lap dance music, maybe.
Wait, did you say lap dance music?
Peter wants some Daphne on him. Daphne to the stage, please. Daphne to the stage.
Anyway, I'm getting ready to mute both their microphones.
This guy sucks.
Tennessee's at Jacksonville. Jacksonville 6.5-point favorites in this game. Now listen. I can't even finish my thought. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 30-second commercial break. I got to go piss myself.
Oh, my God. This commercial break is brought to you by Depends. When you have to piss yourself, Depends is the one to go for.
I hate you both. But people usually ask, Harry, boxers or briefs? And I always say, depends.
Oh.
This guy sucks.
Anyway, this is what I like. Tennessee's at Jacksonville. It's a 6.5-point favorite. Look, guys, Tennessee's playing. They're not really playing the greatest football, but these two teams generally play very, very tight. I do like the 40 points in this game. I think there's a good position playing under. I think Jacksonville is this year's Cincinnati Bengals. How about that? Okay, worst to first.
Wow.
Okay, do I think they're going to the Super Bowl? Who knows? I think they win the game, but Tennessee covers the 6.5. Welcome to the Over Under. on the sports web, live on 1252 Sports Chicago and multiple other platforms. Peter, how are you tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great, buddy. It's the evolution of sports talk television a little bit earlier here. And of course, giving you that little gambling perspective, or a lot of gambling perspective. Again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. And also a new number out there. And I know somebody's been trying to call in, so call back in if you want to. 727-409-7528. It's 727-409-7528. So there's two phone lines here. We could talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And of course, we can get your gambling questions because it is wild card playoff weekend here on a Friday night on the over-under on the sports web. How about that?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a really, really jam-packed show. We're going to go for about an hour tops, maybe an hour and a half. Tonight's special guests, nothing special about them, just solid information. We have live from New Jersey itself, Mr. Jacob Charnow. And, of course, one of the two units, or is it the one unit with the two balls himself, Mr. Andrew Davis, part of the Legends. Man, that was a lot of fun over at Whiskey Wings a couple of weeks ago. I'll tell you what, you had Ray and Andrew on one side, you had Peter and Harry on the other.
Yes.
Or you had a Harry Peter. I don't know which one it was, but it was one of the two.
Wow.
We shouldn't even talk like that. Anyway, you know what, Pete?
Yes. What are we doing?
It's back to week one, baby.
It is back to week one. Absolutely.
It's back to week one.
It's a beautiful thing because, for Bucs fans out there, who's at the controls. You know what's happening. It's Tom Brady time. And let's see if this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team and what they can do on Monday Night Football versus the Dallas Cowboys. But there's a lot of intrigue to this weekend overall. I mean, you have Seattle and San Francisco at 4:00. You have Jacksonville versus the Chargers. On Sunday, you have Miami with Skylar Thompson because Tua's not playing in the game. That's disappointing. Of course, the quarterbacks being the story, as always, when it comes to playoff time. Playoffs against the Buffalo Bills. And then after that, you've got Cincinnati and the Ravens and no Lamar Jackson. So no Tua, no Lamar Jackson. I'm curious to see what's going to happen at this point. And I guess my dog decided, you know what? I'm just going to make it an appearance for some reason. I'm going to come back here and bother you while you're doing a live show. I have no idea why he's doing this right now.
Well, that's Alexander. You got to leave Alexander alone. I don't never leave Andrew at home.
Hey,
okay?
Alexander, get out of here.
This guy sucks.
Anyway, hang on. If you got a question or comment for the Greek or Pete or even the other guests, dial 727-255-0391. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. As always, you go ahead and post a comment. We're going to go ahead and read it live on the air. But I am not wasting any time. I can't wait to get my two buddies in here with us live from New Jersey. And I'll tell you what, one of the most underrated handicappers you will find. I've taught him well.
Yes, you
Mr.
have.
Jacob Charnow. How you doing?
Wait a minute.
On the record,
Yes.
I can't. I don't bet. I'm not allowed to bet. I'm 18 and in New Jersey. However,
Tom Brady has something to say about that.
That's good enough to suck right there.
I'm really good at telling other people what to bet, or at least I'm getting better at it, Harry.
I know.
Taught by you.
Wink, wink,
Taught by
wink.
You. Taught by you. I've been cold in NFL, but I've been good the last couple weeks, I think.
Before I bring Andrew on, I got the comment of the day from Mr. Roger Shue, the Tribal Show. Acknowledge me, Pete.
Oh, absolutely.
Acknowledge me.
He's got it. Peter's banned from Chuck E. Cheese, and me, Sidor. So, is this show called The Greek Harry Peter?
Wow,
Oh, that was bad.
Sucks.
And
yes,
the other part of New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Mr.
didn't
Andrew
know.
Davis.
Oh,
The other part of New Jersey,
we go.
Florida. The other part of New Jersey.
Bro, there's a good part of Jersey, and then there's your part of Jersey.
Oh, jeez.
Where in Jersey are you, Drew?
I live in the same area as you.
No, he doesn't.
What was that?
It's not. No, you don't live in Bergen County, but you live
Yeah.
close.
No, listen. Mama County Pride here. Mama County Pride.
Oh, he's right there.
Yeah, it's just a little further south.
Yeah.
Actually, he grew up very close to where my wife lived up there. Guys, we're not going to waste much time. I'm going to read some of these comments. Again, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the share button, put this on someone's timeline. This is how we do grow it organically. I've been on a heater, guys. Absolute heater.
Yeah,
I picked unconscious. 7-2 on my big games last week.
Hold on.
He's on fire. He's on fire.
But I'll tell you what.
Hold on. Let me play your music.
Come on. You see, Jacob's not allowed to do that. His mama and his grandmother come down there and slap the crap out of him. You can't dance to Greek music. Now, you give me Nava Havida Halva. There you go. There you go. That's my buddy.
You got me. You got me.
That was a good one. Hey guys, seriously. I just want to kick it off. I mean, is there anything more exciting? Seriously, even though our respective teams, other than his team is in the playoffs and his team's in the playoffs, but is there anything more exciting than watching playoff football? Jacob, I'm going to let you take off on that one.
Playoffs.
Listen, I'm a Jets fan. So I have to lean towards the draft, but NFL playoffs are awesome. Man, some of these matchups, besides like the Seahawks game, I mean, the Seahawks game might be good, but besides the Dolphins game and the Ravens game, I think all these games have a chance to be close. And all of them should be pretty good games. So
yeah, without question. You want to talk about the draft?
Yeah, I mean, you do. You want to talk about the draft?
You see that right there?
Get ready to draft. Get ready for Bryce Young.
Oh, buddy. Listen, but trust me,
I think
it's the Bears. If anybody can screw this up, the Jets or the Bears could screw this up.
Oh no!
I think all fans of teams that have a history of messing up in their unmessable situation, basically.
Yep.
Listen, I agree. I'm excited I'm really excited for. I mean, we're gonna have months and months and months and months to talk about the draft, and boy, will I be there because that is my favorite time of the year. But I think we should probably what game do you guys want to? What game do you guys want to move into?
I just want to touch on one other thing. I cannot wait to get some of your mock drafts because last year and the year before, the year before it was Last year, son, you were deadly.
You were deadly last year.
That first round was pretty damn deadly. What's up, Peter?
And I want to answer this question. What's more exciting than playoff football? Playoff hockey, especially when the Tampa Bay Lightning are in the mix. But again, NHL hockey, me, Sador, absolutely had one of the best comments of the night right there.
The Harry Peter?
No, not that one. NHL hockey is one of the most exciting things to watch besides NFL playoff
was
football.
Was it the police bulletin from Chuck E. Cheese?
I don't know what Roger is talking about, but he knows a little bit about Chuck E. Cheese all the time.
He's like, that wasn't me. That was a guy in a mouse costume. How would you know?
Andrew, we're going to do this live on here. Turn your gain down just a smidge.
What's a smidge?
Give me a
How's
testing,
that working
1,
for
2,
you?
3. A little more.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing
again. A little bit more. Again.
Wow.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. Now you're not cutting out. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Ladies and gentlemen,
There we go.
Is how we do it. This is how we do it live on the over-under. First game we're going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the Seattle Geno Smith Seahawks going to San Francisco with a rookie quarterback. It's a divisional game, but it's in the playoffs. The total's 41.5, and San Francisco's -10. I don't know. I watched a couple of games. I watched quite a few highlights. I tried to take the bat of Geno Smith. I watched the last game that they played each other. I tried to dissect it down. I can't put 2 and 2 together on this game, to be honest with you. But what I can tell you is this: 10 points is a lot of points, especially in a playoff game.
Playoffs.
That's right.
Playoffs.
The first person I want to go to and talk about this game a little bit is Peter Blake. Peter,
yeah.
And then we're going to follow it with Jacob, and I'm going to let Drew play mop-up duty over here, and then I'm going to go ahead and give everybody an answer when I'm thinking. What do you think of this game? San Francisco's favored by 10. Are you a believer in a rookie quarterback like that? Do you think Seattle has a chance of playing in this game? Do you think Seattle covers? Do you like the over/under? What do you like?
I mean, I think right now, I think Seattle can definitely keep this close, and 10 points is a lot of points at the end of the day. I was disappointed to see Seattle in because, of course, I wanted to see the Lions in, but Seattle has been the story of the year, right? I mean, they trade Russell Wilson. You have Geno Smith, who's never basically done anything. The Seahawks are left for dead. And then on the other side of it, you got the San Francisco 49ers with Mr. Irrelevant, who's been Mr. Relevant with Brock Purdy. But as we said, coming into this show, the playoffs, the postseason is completely different. It's a different season. So I think there's way too many points there, and I think Seattle can keep this close. And just studying you, Mr. Harry the Greek, you got to keep it close because it is a division rival, and you never know what's going to happen in this division game. So those are always pretty close.
Very, very, very observant young grasshopper.
Thank you.
Jacob.
I'm going to go the opposite side of that. Listen, the 49ers swept this team during the season. The Seahawks, similar to a team we're going to talk about, the Cowboys, are on the decline at the wrong time. This Niners team is maybe the hottest team in the NFC right now that isn't the New York Giants. And the Seahawks, they barely made it in. They got in off like a technicality pretty much because the Lions beat the Packers and all this stuff. And they snuck out an overtime win against the Rams that the refs gave them. I think Geno's career year ends in this game. I don't think the Niners just win. I think they cover. I have them winning 27-13. The Seahawks are going to be missing linebacker Jordan Brooks. He got hurt in their last game.
Standby caller.
2 games ago against the Jets. But Jordan Brooks, that's a huge hole on their defense now, and I think the Niners take control of it, especially in that run game, and they win this game relatively easy at 27-13.
Let's go out to the phone lines here. Welcome to the Sports Web and the over-under here. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire, Jacob Charnow of Hard Count Football Podcast, and, of course, Andrew Davis of the Two Giant Goop Balls. What do you have to say? What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hello. Welcome to the over-under, the Sports Web. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Jennifer Rubling.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Jen. You're calling a live sports show. You got a question?
Talk show. Yes, I know who you are. I've seen your post. You want to learn about sports. What's your question?
What am I doing?
Actually, Jen, this is Harry the Greek, and I'm taking applications for dates for Mr. Peter Blake. You interested?
I don't think that's what we're talking about.
Are you sure? Because I know Andrew's tied up. Jacob, you available?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm confident.
Okay, he's positive.
Sure.
I'm good.
Hello?
I'll pass.
Okay. All right. We're gonna let her go, guys. I don't know.
Jacob went to El Paso on that one.
Yeah. Sorry about that. You call this show, you got to have something to talk about. You can't just say hello, and you got to turn down your phone, guys. It's like watching or listening to a radio show. Yes.
Please turn off our show when you're calling in. Like, it's so annoying.
It can be.
I appreciate you watching the show at the end of the day, but if you're calling, you're going to be able to hear everybody on this. This is how I basically.
Because
Jennifer says, "What was that?" Hi, Jen. You can call into the show. We just thought you had a question, but we always like to make it a little bit comical. But we do love the fact that you watch the show. Appreciate you calling in. But if you have a question regarding one of the games, or you got a question for one of the hosts, such as myself, Andrew Davis, Peter Blake, and hold on, there he is, Jacob Charnow. Feel free to give us a call. We'd love to take your call, Andrew.
Yeah. Well, also, don't forget, she can also contact Peter at plentyoffish.com/Peter Blake.
Oh, you are so bad. That is just not right. He's not on Plenty of Fish. He's on that one. He's on that one app. Peter, what do you call it? The one you hook up? What's it called? Tinder. That's it. Tinder.
Tinder.
Yes.
I've been out of the game too long. I don't know. That's what we were using back in the day.
I know nothing about Tinder.
I have no idea. I honestly have no idea myself. That's the truth. I'm working too much here on these shows, and
I know. Home Depot, McDonald's, all these jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to hustle.
Jacob, I'm going to give you a little word of warning. Be careful about talking about getting into the playoffs on a technicality when you're around a Bucks fan. They get very sensitive about that. Just saying. But you know, it's kind of boring, to be honest with you, seeing division rivals, for lack of a better term, face each other again in the playoffs in the very, very first round of it. We've already seen these guys play twice. This is one of 2 games we have in this exact same scenario here. But the Niners have proven they're the better team both times. One of the biggest things is the Seattle Seahawks are the best when they get their running game going. When Kenneth Walker gets going, he's had over 100+ yards the last 3 games. But the Niners are the best team in the league at stopping running backs. So I don't think they have a shot in hell, basically, at this. I got them winning pretty easily. I do think they're actually going to cover the spread in this. And I do see them, basically getting hungry for the next opponent by the time halftime comes.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty strong. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about this game. I'm going to tell you the same way I've told everybody else. Don't get too enamored with teams that are supposed to win the games by double-digit points, especially when it comes to the playoffs. Whether it's the first round, you got the top seed versus the worst seed. The point I'm trying to make is really simple. It's still a divisional game. These 2 teams know each other more than anything. And Brock Purdy, God bless you, man. You have been put into a system that is making you look like the next coming of Christ. In that case, that would be the next coming of Tom Brady. Okay. But with that being said, you're not. You got a mediocre arm. You are not that great of a quarterback, but you're playing in an absolute perfect system.
Correct.
Now, it wouldn't surprise me that San Francisco is not going to cover this game. It wouldn't surprise me if they did or they didn't. As far as playing quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, it goes to show you don't need Joe Montana behind this line. It's in this particular situation, it's the scheme. This particular scheme fits this type of quarterback. I know I'm bouncing around all over the place. I'm going to Texas. Do not play this game. Don't get mad because you love San Francisco and they won by 35 points. I'm just telling you from past experience and so many years of handicapping football games that the sexy pick 9 times out of 10 does not get there. But I will tell you what to do. Bet the second half. Pay attention in the first half. Pay attention in the first half. Because if you do want to play the second half, that's when Frisco might turn around and walk away with it. So I am going to give one small pick. Take Seattle plus 6.5 in the first half only.
All right, so let's go out to the phone lines. Best of the Bay, Mr. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. Welcome to the Sports Web /over/under. Go ahead.
I'll tell you guys what, you're 100% right about the fact that San Francisco is the hottest team and they may be the most stacked team. And of course, it is the 3rd time they're playing their own divisional opponent, the Seattle Seahawks, tomorrow at 4:30. But I'll tell you guys what, there's one thing that, it could make a big difference in this game that we haven't seen in the first 2 matchups. And that is the fact that currently in California, the entire state, but especially in San Francisco, they are basically going through a 100-year reign right now. And you look at the weather forecast all the way through tonight, all the way through tomorrow, and right up through kickoff, it's above 50% rain all the way through. So, we haven't seen Brock Purdy. We haven't seen him play with the rain and the elements. And Andrew, you even said that Seattle does their best when that running game gets going. And, so I'm not trying to say Seattle can pull the upset. You guys know I'm already rooting for, because if Seattle somehow beat the Niners and the Giants beat the Minnesota Vikings, when the Bucks take care of business on Monday night, that means Tampa Bay can host another playoff game in the divisional round. But
Ray, thank you so much for calling in. And that reminds me, and I know you got a great memory. What was the last rain game that San Francisco did so well in?
Brother, that was the game where the Chicago Bears beat them in week 1 there at Soldiers Field. So I love the fact that the rain element, that might be, we might be sitting back, and I'm sure a lot of San Francisco fans might be wanting to call this a rocking chair game before kickoff even starts. But I would pose that with the weather we will have tomorrow there at Levi Stadium, could make it a gritty, interesting game. And for that reason alone, I like Seattle to at least cover the points.
And that's why Seattle can stay in this game, because if they can establish that run, they take the pressure off of Geno Smith. That's exactly what they want to do with Ken Walker, their rookie, and that's what they've been able to do all year long. Furthermore, though, Andrew's exactly right. San Francisco can stop that running game, and they can also run the ball themselves with Christian McCaffrey and their backs, and they love to play defense. So a weather game like this also favors San Francisco. But like Harry said, this could be a lot closer game, not just because of the elements, but also because it is a divisional matchup.
100%. Yes, sir.
And the other thing is, too, the San Francisco 49ers have their strengths at running back, obviously, and tight end. They got some decent receivers as well, but they got a pretty strong tight end and a pretty strong receiving running back. Do you know what Seattle struggled with all year long? Stopping receiving running backs and tight ends.
It's a little different in the rain, though, guys. We're going to go ahead and get off this game. Ray, you got another question, or you want to talk about a game?
No, I'm just enjoying the show, fellas. Keep going. I'll call in I'll use that second call in if I get a chance.
All right, man.
Hopefully you can do that, Ray. Thanks so much for calling in. That was Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy.
It was absolutely
a cup of Ray.
The man,
I'm gonna
the Legions.
He was the second. He was the second half of the Legions. Anyway, this is a game I really kind of like. You got the LA Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Let me go first.
I know. And what I was going to tell everybody a little bit about this is that Chargers are 2.5-point road favorites. Totals 47.5 points. And you might be, and I've always said that when you have a road team that's favored by 2.5 points, you're always go to the home team because 88% of the time the home team will cover and or win. Now, I could see Jacob doing something funky in the back, and I don't know exactly what he's talking about, but I got to bring him in.
88% rule, Harry. That's what I
the 88% rule. He's absolutely correct. But here's a lot of things that people don't know. Did you know that Jacksonville was favorite to start the week in this game? When the lines first came up, it was Jacksonville -2, 1.5, 1, even money, and then the next day it went to 2.5 for the Chargers. Go ahead, Jacob.
All right. Just indulge me. Here we go.
I'm indulging you.
Yes. So these two teams actually played earlier in the season, and
I remember.
You may or may not remember, Jacksonville kicked their ass 38-10. So in this game, the important stat for me is that Mike Williams isn't playing. Mike Williams officially ruled out, and Mike Williams has missed 4 games this season. In those 4 games that Mike Williams missed, the Chargers offense is averaging 20 points per game. And they are 2-2 in that span. Only they beat Atlanta. They edged one out over Atlanta, and they edged one out over the Arizona Cardinals. Both those teams, I think, are picking in the top 10 in this draft. So pretty bad teams. Their 2 losses came to San Francisco, where they scored 16 points against them, and against the Raiders, they lost 2 in a divisional game. This offense is not the same without all its weapons, and here's why. It's because Brandon Staley is a questionable coach at best with questionable play calling on both sides of the ball. This Chargers defense with all these names, you want to throw at me Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, you name it. This Chargers defense sucks. They cannot stop anybody. Forget all these big names. This Chargers defense cannot stop anybody. Brandon Staley is a questionable coach. The Jaguars are red hot right now heading into the playoffs. They are arguably the most well-coached team in the AFC that Andy Reid or Sean McDermott. And Doug Peterson is going to outcoach Brandon Staley in a high-scoring, close game that the Jaguars win 30-27.
Holy cow, man. What a prediction from him himself, Mr. Jacob Charno. I absolutely love the passion and the fire. But Jacob, they didn't have Khalil Mack in line 1. That defense isn't quite as bad. Now this defense is healthy and they're going to be playing together. So does that but hold on, but does that make a little bit of a difference? Here's the other part of it. It's not just Mike Williams. Let's just talk about Jacksonville and that convincing win against the Tennessee Titans and a 20th string quarterback. They never should have won the game. You and I both watched the game. Please don't sit here and tell me that this team outcoached and outplayed a Tennessee team when you and I both know that that game was given to them in Duval County up there in Jacksonville because they didn't earn that game. That defense won that game. That offense looked horrible, and Trevor Lawrence looks like a fish out of water. This year, I'm not going to usually give my picks out. I usually let everybody go. But let me tell you something. 88% of the time, you are supposed to bet the home team. that means only 12% of the time that the road team will actually cover or win that game. And I'm telling you right now, the Greeks giving it out. That is my game of the week. You take the Chargers and you beat them over the head with the the Chargers over the Jaguars. I absolutely love this game, even with the 88% rule. And ladies and gentlemen, there's another 88% rule coming up, and we're going to talk about that here shortly.
Yes.
Andrew Davis.
Yeah, I hate to disagree with you after that, Harry, but I'm with Jacob on this one. I got the Jaguars to win. One of the big keys for me is that it's not just the fact that Mike Williams is going to be out for this game, which should cost a certain head coach a job. I'm just saying. But the other thing is that on top of that, Jacksonville has been great all year at stopping one particular thing in the past, and that's the running back. So if you can take Eckler out of the game as well, along with Mike Williams, that's a very one-dimensional offense all of a sudden. And I don't see it getting done that way.
You watch this offense. This offense doesn't even look. Brandon Staley has gotten bailed out by these weapons time and time again during this season. That's what it is, right? The Chargers are the 5 seed right now because of the play on the field when Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are playing. With those two on the field, this is a completely different game. But this defense, this Jaguars defense, is young, and they're getting it right at the right time. Doug Peterson has these boys ready for a fight at home against LA, and I'm telling you, they're going to take this game, Harry.
Peter Blake.
It's all about the Mo at the end of the day, and the Jacksonville Jaguars got it. They got a young quarterback and Trevor Lawrence who's filling it right now. And you're exactly right. Staley should be fired after this game. Brandon Staley should be fired. I said this a couple weeks ago. The guy that's going to take over for the Chargers is going to be Mr. Sean Payton, and it's going to be right after this game. He's going to be interested in this offense. And let's think about it, guys. If Jim Harbaugh, if Sean Payton were coaching this team, they would be in better shape than what they have right now. And to play Mike Williams last week, I get it. You're trying to get him some reps, but he's been off injured all year long, and he's a big part of your offense, and you still go out there and play him, and now he's got a fractured back. That offense isn't the same. The coaching is not that good. Jacksonville wins in a shootout. Play the over, in my opinion. You go with the 88% rule.
Ladies and gentlemen, I picked over 70% of the games against the spread that I've given out this year on the over-under. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but this is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why I end up going to the Dominican Republic and I take trips to Europe, is because this one over here has been picking the right side of things. It's easy to take the sexy pick with the better head coach and feasibly the better football team and on the road, but sometimes you got to play with your gut. And as I always say, I'd rather be lucky than good. Who are you going to take? You want to go with the other three, or you want to go with the Greek?
I think
that's all I got to say.
You just got gas. That's what I think.
Oh, I got gas. All right. We're going to go live to the comments. Roger Shue says, hi, guys. And guys, let me tell you something. I didn't try to ignore the comments. We're going to go ahead and read them live on the over-under on the Sports Web tonight.
Yes.
Troy Polamalu says first. Absolutely, buddy.
No.
Roger Shue says, nice try, Troy. He got you.
Acknowledge me.
Troy says, God, I can't wait to see the Bucks lose.
This guy sucks.
Roger Shue says, go Vikings.
That's not the suck right there.
Oh, God.
That's just, no.
Roger Shue says, depends. No, that's boxers or briefs. Andrew Faubert. What's happening, Mr. Andrew, north of the border, eh?
Yeah.
Evening, gents. Roger Shue says, Scooby-Doo.
Where are you? We got some work to do now.
Thelma and Louise to the stage. Thelma and Louise to the stage.
That's a movie. It's the wrong.
That's okay. Troy
That's Daphne and
Polamalu.
Thelma, you're thinking.
I know, but Thelma and Louise. So you still watch Scooby-Doo, huh?
Who doesn't?
Cut Noodle Arm, Crybaby Brady, and signed Derek Carr.
The suck right there.
Ooh.
Roger Shue says America's team's whooping Bucks ass.
This guy sucks.
Christopher
Not my
Cole
America.
says, good evening, everyone. Good evening,
Oh,
Chris.
yeah.
Roger Shue says Brady to Vegas and Carr to Tampa.
This guy sucks.
Not a bad trade, by the way.
I
Troy
don't-
Brady to the
Polamalu says,
Villages.
correction, welcome to 1254 Sports on the Sports Web. Roger Shue says, when are we going back to Whiskey Wings? That's a good question. Roger,
Shut up.
why don't you call Whiskey Wings and ask them when they're going to have those fabulous guys back?
Yeah. Ask him.
Troy Polamalu says, never. Y'all were scared to talk to girls.
Oh, God.
This guy sucks.
Are you trying to? I can't take your hand. Sorry. Peter wants to go to Chuck
No,
E. Cheese.
Straight up the suck right there.
And, of course, Musador with the comment of the week. So is this show called The Greek Harry Peter?
Oh, yeah.
Peter banned from Chuck and Cheese. Hump Day. What's up, Hump Day? Jacob.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob turning 19 next week. Jacob.
Boom, shakalaka.
Happy
Turning
birthday,
next
little
Sunday.
brother. Misador says there's a good part of Jersey. Yes, there is, sir.
It's called a restaurant. It's called a restaurant. That's the only good part of Jersey.
Can't wait till my Bears draft a real quarterback and switch field to his natural position, the running back.
Shut up.
Misador says, Opa. Misador says playoff hockey. Ray Kennedy says
Boom, shakalaka.
playoffs.
Wow.
Playoffs.
Misador says Bears draft a punter with the first overall pick. You're not even
Oh.
funny.
This guy
It's a kicker. It's Ray Finkel.
They're gonna trade back to 12, and then they'll draft a punter at 12. Don't worry.
12.
No,
They
they're not. I know they're not trading out of the top 10. There's no shot.
They're going to go to maybe 3 or 4,
If-
and I'll
if-
talk about that
if
later.
CJ Stroud stays at Ohio State for another year, this team is going to get quite the haul for that number 1 pick.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple first round picks.
Can
If-
you see
if-
it? Can you see it?
that if that is
Can you
if,
see it?
that is
God
if
bless
Stroud
Bobby.
stays. I'm telling you, I think more GMs like Stroud or see Stroud and Bryce Young as neck and neck than you think. I think
Cool.
Stroud might even be QB1 in this draft, but I'm not. No one's ready for that argument yet.
I don't personally like Young as much as I like Stroud. That didn't even sound right coming out of my mouth. Ray Kennedy, I see Harry Peter with 2 good balls hanging below. Oh, God.
This guy sucks.
I mean, he's not
He's-
wrong. He's not wrong.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Why is the Harry
Ray-
Peter right side up?
I don't know. Ray Kennedy hoping that was a typo. It's supposed to say goof.
Boom, shakalaka.
Roger Shoe says, hit that like button.
Yes.
Jennifer, thanks for tuning in, Jen. You can always call in. We do like our calls.
Yes.
What was that? That was you weren't ready to take a call, but that's okay. You can call back.
Mhm.
Jennifer, I'll be more
Next
prepared
time.
next time.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Roger Shoe says,
First,
when I
you don't
grow up, I
succeed.
want to be Jacob.
Yes.
Troy says, where's brother dude? Roger, Harry, I hate to do it, but I got to take the Vikings over the Giants. David,
The suck
Ah.
right there.
Let's
I'm
talk-
saying Niners 31-16. Roger says, Bucks suck, go Jags.
All right, there we go.
This guy sucks.
David Mosier, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but Jacksonville wins 17-10.
yeah.
2 more comments. Read the comments, Peter. No crap.
This guy sucks.
Jacob needs a green screen for his birthday.
I'm too
Yeah.
I'm too back and forth from home to school to get grade screen.
Any more
Also,
comments about this Charger game, or
don't you
can I
like-
put that game to rest?
Don't you like the bland background so you guys can focus on my wonderful face? Doesn't the audience love that?
Hang on, let me see.
Actually, you're kind of blending with it.
Look at the smile.
I'm close, man. I need to go south.
You're like a chameleon over there.
I need a vacation.
Talking about vacations, the Miami Dolphins are traveling to the Buffalo Bills. The Tua list. The Tua list. I don't even know who's playing quarterback. I really don't.
Let's
All-
spend 2 seconds on this.
all-
one.
Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson's going to be
Skylar
playing
Thompson.
quarterback.
Yep.
And this line keeps inflating. This line is all the way up to 13.5 points. And this is another divisional game.
That's
Now,
low.
before everybody said, oh my God, Buffalo's going to crush them, this and that, everybody was saying the same thing with a 50th string quarterback with Tennessee going to play Jacksonville last week to see who's going to win a division. And that didn't turn out like that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? But I'm going to go first in this. Make sure you lay the mortgage on this game. Take Buffalo minus the 13.5. Miami's got no chance in this game at all. 0. I'm really sorry, Miami fans. Peter?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Skylar Thompson is at the controls. They barely beat the New York Jets, who had nothing to play for last week, 9-6 on a 50-yard field goal. I get it. You have Tyreek Hill, you have Jalen Waddle, but if you don't have a quarterback that can get him the ball, it's not going to happen. And then again, Buffalo definitely going to be motivated by Hamlin. and him getting out of the hospital. In fact, it's going to galvanize this team. They're going to absolutely blow the doors off of the Miami Dolphins on Sunday.
Jacob.
Yeah, this game's gonna. I think the Bills might win by 1 million.
Somebody said
That's it. I mean, that was like really insightful. I like
38 to 27.
What am I? I just watched Skylar Thompson. Just he like. What are people? Is anyone even arguing that the Dolphins could cover this? How is it only 13.5? It should be a 20-point spread. Buffalo is years. They are light years better than the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
Milano might kill Skylar Thompson. He might break more of his ribs than he did to Mike White.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then. All right, so let's just say there's too many points. Miami's over and under for the first half. You ready? 7.5 points.
Take the under.
Hold on.
Under.
And it's plus 155.
The under?
No, the over.
Oh, well.
Look at Jacob. The under? Oh, my God. This is a kid that said he doesn't bet because he gets other people to bet. Trust me, he would have taken his McDonald's money and everything else and shoved it in.
I would have told everyone to bet the under.
I'm loving it.
Thank you, Peter.
No, but what do you like? You like the under or not?
I don't think Miami scores more than 7 points in the whole game. I think the Bills win this one 31-6.
31-6. Peter, who do you like and why?
I like Buffalo big. I say, what is it? Lay the wood on this.
God, he's getting so good. I'm so proud of my guys here. Andrew.
So I'm going to say this, that I think the Dolphins are going to cover the spread. And what I mean by that is after the game, they're going to put mayonnaise on their bread because that's the best chance they have of covering any kind of spread whatsoever. This game is going to be ridiculous.
I want to know where Ray Kenny is. Where is
blowout.
Tampa Bay Ray? Ray, call in, would you please? I need
He's
these picks by you.
using his second call during the Bucks section of the show.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
all right, so we're done with Miami Buffalo.
He's saving that.
Well, hold on a minute. Now, my question is, there's been rumors out there that Sean Payton could go down to Miami. Is Mike McDaniel fired after this game?
Please fire him. Please fire him. Please let the Jets take him. Please let the Jets hire him as their OC.
Yeah, that'd be the dumbest move ever. So they might do it.
I mean, this is Miami's ownership, right? I mean, so it's out there. They started out 7-3. I think any normal, typical owner would understand quarterback injuries and injuries overall to the offensive line. You wouldn't fire the coach, but again, this is the Miami Dolphins ownership.
Listen. Here's my thing: is if they know they're getting Sean Payton, if they know for a fact that they are getting Sean Payton, I mean, like Mike McDaniel he's a Jeep. He is perfect. He works. He gets the job done when he needs to. But if you can trade that Jeep in for a Lambo, you're trading that Jeep in for a Lambo. And I think that if they can get Payton, then it makes sense. But McDaniel should be the coach of this team. But if they fire him, he will be the Jets OC by the day after he gets fired.
Why do you say that?
I'm going to disagree with him the Lambo thing. I really am.
Him and Saleh are boys. They're like best friends.
Really good point. Really, really good point.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I'm disagreeing on the Lambo thing big time though.
Yeah. He may be up for a coaching job here because if he gets fired, I thought he did a great job this year with Tua and that offense. He had that offense working until they had all those offensive line injuries happen. So he may be up for a head coaching job, but I definitely understand where Jacob is coming from.
Yeah.
How many rings did Sean Payton get in New Orleans? I'm just saying.
One. I mean, you're exactly right. He got one.
We're not talking about Bill Belichick here. So it's like.
I understand. I do understand. I also think a young coach fits this Miami team more than Payton would. Yes. I'd also just love Mike McDaniel. Like he's a division coach. He's an in-division coach for me, and I still love him.
You just want him as an OC. I'm on to you.
But I want Frank Reich.
I'm on to you. Let's just call this.
I want Frank Reich more than I want anybody though as my OC.
Well, listen, we know
at this point you would take him as your quarterback.
Well, he's a former Jet quarterback. You're right.
Sean Payton not headed back to New Orleans because they're going to keep Dennis Allen after it's 7 and 10 years. So that's kind of a shocker that came out today.
Yep.
So
he's going to get charged to his bank account very soon. I guarantee you. Just saying.
Sean Payton's going to have his choices, and also McVay for the Rams is coming back.
Yes.
according to various sources.
Yeah,
That was the
honestly,
surprise.
this is a dance every single year. It's a story till he actually says he's going to leave every year. Is he
He's
going to
getting
leave?
like
Is he
Aaron
gonna leave? He's not
Rodgers at
leaving.
this
He
point.
How
loves
does
the
this-
game. He's
I have a
not
question.
leaving.
If you're
No.
if you're Les Snead and or you're Aaron Donald or you're Cooper Kupp, does this McVay thing not piss you off?
Yes, it does.
Like,
piss you off.
does
No.
it not be like
No.
is it not like, oh, like, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Like we don't know if this guy's coming or going. I promise if Sean McVay left, Aaron Donald was going to retire. And that's what I was. That's what I saw. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I was hearing. That's not going to happen.
Here's the thing, though. You got to ask, what is the question? What's going on behind closed doors, though? Because we hear the speculation, but for
this
all
Rams
we know,
season-
McVay's talking to them and saying, "I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry about it. This is just me playing the media game like I do every year." Because this is all he's doing. He wants to
wouldn't
be in
do
the
that
news. He
because-
wants to be the big name. That's all he is.
True,
Well-
because this, if now the Rams come out next year and have a similar season like they did this year, which I think is entirely possible, the media is going to destroy. They will destroy him. Like, it is going to be.
Oh no, he'll have Baker the whole year. He's going to be good to go. Baker coming back.
Let me tell you something. Baker's not as bad as what you guys think.
Give him Zach Wilson.
I don't think he
Baker's-
is bad. I don't think he's bad. No
but
one wants
he's
Zach
not gonna
Wilson
win-
except his mom's friends.
That's it. There you go. And I tell you right
You
now,
guys are just so wrong, man. I'm going to go ahead and get back to the comments. Hold
Well,
on.
to me-
Edward,
Okay.
Matt Stafford actually said the other day he wasn't sure if his coach was going to go back in that building. So
He legitimately, I think, took time to decide whether or not he was coming back. I
ladies
think
and gentlemen, that's one of the reasons why you don't sell your soul to the devil. Just to get a single championship. That's it. That's all he did.
I would do it in a million years. I mean, if you
Yeah.
had to trade,
Sorry.
I would do it any day of the week, dude.
Now,
Hey,
but
hey,
now
hey,
you're going to be in
Harry.
hold on, but now
Harry.
you're going to be in purgatory for the
How
next
long
8
ago
to
was
10 years.
1985? How long ago was 1985? I'm just saying, Harry.
How
Here,
long
let me,
ago
let
was
me show you how. Here,
long
that's
ago
how
was
long ago
1985
1985 was. There you go,
Oh
guys.
my
That's
God.
that's
This guy sucks.
You know
that's,
what was
that's
longer?
Just saying.
1985.
You know what was
it's been
further away
like-
than 1985, Harry? 1969. So don't even.
I was in
Yeah.
preschool the last time the Bears won a ring, and this guy's going, "Oh, he sold his soul for just one ring."
listen,
Hold on.
Harry,
The Chicago Bears won a ring. They went to the big dance again back in 05. They should have won that game. Okay,
They went to the
they
dance. They didn't win the dance.
that's right.
Harry.
They went to the dance. Yes, sir.
The last time the Jets were in a Super Bowl, my parents weren't born yet. Can we?
You know what? That's another thing. Now you're really making me feel old.
all right.
I
Seriously,
would sell my soul to the devil right now for a Jets Super Bowl.
Let's pose the question out
Oy
there
vey.
for all NFL
With
fans.
Derek Carr, I won't even have to.
Would you trade for a coach or trade first round picks and second round picks in order to win a Super Bowl? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. New number here, 727-409-7528. It's 727-409-7528. It's the Sports Web Live here on the Over Under. Would you sell yourself to the devil in order to win a championship? And I think a lot of Bucs fans out there would say,
Yes.
hell yes, you would. And that's what the Rams did. They
We
sold
got
Harry the
Four, I
Greek
still
does
would.
not. Harry the Creek does not approve that message.
I think
Back to the comments, Edward
Yes.
Gross. I'll call you when I
He's
talk about
partying
the
like
Bucks.
it's
I'm all fired
1985.
up.
there's higher comments. Harry.
Listen, my boy, Mr. Mike Hughes. I'm a Hellcat kind of guy myself. You're a Hellraiser. Who are you kidding, bro?
Yeah.
Mike Hughes, I like my Jeep.
I drive a Jeep too.
Yeah, so does
I love
Harry
the Jeep.
working in the auto repair business.
If Miami does fire the head coach, you think Brady stays here and we sign him as our next head coach?
What?
No, I
No.
think there's certainly a possibility.
Wait, what?
Listen, can I address this? If Sean Payton does coach the Miami Dolphins, then get those rumors started because they're going to be fast and furious, if you will, with Tom Brady going to the Miami Dolphins. And they're already furious with him going to the Raiders with Josh McDaniel. Now, nothing has been substantiated. I've said this before, and I continue to say it here. There's not another organization that has rolled out the red carpet for him, gotten him every player that he's wanted. Why would he go anywhere else? But I could absolutely see him going to the Miami Dolphins if Sean Payton were the new coach. I could.
Peter, I gotta give it to you. You know, I have a lot of thoughts on the Bucks fan base. I have my mixed opinions on them. I'm sure as you do also.
Sure.
I would do anything, I think, to see Tom Brady go to Miami and then watch Tua be the quarterback of the Bucks and see that kind of reaction and see some of those comments because those would be so hilarious.
Well,
on to the next comment here. David Mosier, you better be hoping that Brady's here next year, bro. Eddie Gross says, David Mosier, what's the problem? Why do it? I guys want Brady out so bad. I'll answer that in just a little bit. David Mosier says, I didn't say I wanted him to leave, but there's a big chance he might.
Why would you not want him?
David Mosier says, why do you think that? Hump Day says, Jets need a new offensive line and a quarterback and punter.
okay.
Christopher Cole says 49ers are due for a loss.
Flawless victory.
And David Mosier says because he already retired on us once. You know what? That's the reason. And has anybody watched this guy play this year? It's not horrible.
Right.
Other than he can't run.
Right. He's not mobile. He's not a mobile quarterback. You're going to have to put a better offensive line around him. You could be in cap hell, but at the end of the day, right.
And that brings us.
He's a landline.
Right.
And you know what? And it's going to bring us into the next game. We're going to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but it's not Tom Brady so much that you have to worry about because I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a quarterback out there that's going to want to pay, to run this team and this offense.
Oh, yes.
But let me explain this to you. They're going to have to do it next year because I am predicting that Mike Evans is not a Buccaneer next year.
Wow.
Okay. He's not. He's going to get picked up. They need draft capital.
Take him.
Even though he's going to be a free agent. They may do a sign and trade. They're going to do something. They have to do something to get a little bit younger, especially offensively, on this football team.
I got to correct you because Mike Evans is not a free agent, but they have their own free agents that they're going to have to worry about. Jamel Dean is coming up. Mike Edwards, I believe, is also coming up. They have
is Devin White coming up, or did you guys extend him?
Devin White.
There's two teams that are pursuing with big guns, Mr. Mike Evans, right out of Chicago. And ready or not, the Green Bay Packers are really pushing.
The Bucs would be foolish to trade one of the best wide receivers.
I'll give you a second right now.
I'm not taking it. Not for Mike Evans. He's the most consistent wide receiver on this team at this point. Tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines. Mr.
Ed Gross.
Ed. Yes, sir. Welcome to the Evolution / over under here.
Mark my words. Mike Evans will retire as a Buccaneer. Mark my words.
I hope he does, buddy, but just do me a favor. Don't cry in your soup when he doesn't.
Write that down. Write that down.
All right.
Okay. Run it, cry into your oysters or whatever. I don't know.
Shut up, Jake. Listen, I think at the end of the day, we talk about cap troubles all the time with the Bucs and with the Saints the last couple of years. Jason Light's going to know how to make this work. If Tom Brady wants to come back, they're going to have him back. They're going to figure out how to be more flexible. They're going to redo contracts. They're going to free up money. I'm not ready to say this team is in full rebuild mode. I'm not ready to say they're going to trade a Mike Evans out.
Hold on, man. Nobody said this team's in a rebuild mode. I just said they have to figure out how to get a little bit younger.
If you trade Mike Evans, to me, you're in a rebuild mode because you're
not even close.
You're putting all that onus on Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans just went over 1,000 yards receiving. He's one of your most consistent weapons, and I get it. The Brady chemistry hasn't been there this year, but let's not fool ourselves. The guy can still get it done. He can get it done in the National Football League. So,
Jacob, go ahead, say something.
Yeah, I'll say this about the Bucs. I think that you guys can keep Mike Evans and still go into a rebuild after Tom Brady leaves. I think that whatever young quarterback you want to bring in, I think that that's an attractive piece to any sort of young quarterback coming into this league. I mean, look at Josh Allen and Diggs. Look what Diggs did for Josh Allen's development. Look at what I had the example. Look at what AJ Brown did for Jalen Hurts' development.
Sure.
And whoever the Bears decide to bring in next year, whether that be, D-Hop, whether that be Devontae Adams, whoever it ends up being, I think the Jets end up getting
They
D-Hop.
may go out and get both of them.
I think that the Jets actually end up getting D-Hop, like not even biased. I think that they make that move.
Got the money.
To do it and the money.
Go to the Bears.
I think the Bears do it. The Bears
you can absolutely be in a rebuild with any sort of young piece and have that sort of immediate development, but it's not going to happen with Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles at the helm of this team.
It's not going to happen with Byron Leftwich. Byron Leftwich may be moved on. And again, there's been rumors out there that if they bring back a Tom Brady, that a Bill O'Brien would be in that conversation because last year.
Bill
Wait,
O'Brien.
hold on. Bill O'Brien was nearly hired by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Don't let
last
him be your
year.
GM.
He's not going to be the GM. He's going to be your offensive coordinator, and that's
I gotta listen. I gotta interrupt everybody because I did promise something. I have to get Jacob out of here, but before we get out of here, we're going to get off the Buccaneer segment. We're going to come back to it because I do want to talk a little bit about the New York Giants, and there's nobody that's closer to the action, no puns intended, Drew, than Mr. Jacob Charnow right now because he's sitting right there in their backyard, and I want to know exactly what they're saying about the New York Giants and what their chances are getting 3 points at Minnesota, who, by the way,
Ed, thanks a lot for the call. Call back.
Played the Vikings very, very, very close.
I'll say.
What do you think in this game? It's 3 points.
I guess I'm closer to MetLife than Drew is, so that I guess that would put me closer to the action. And that would probably put me the closest to Minnesota as well, which would mean I'm the closest on the action. But the Vikings, we've talked about this time and time again. They're incredibly fraudulent, incredibly overrated. But I want to speak out towards the Giants in this one because Dable, coach of the year. Dable is the coach of the year, no doubt in my mind. Daniel Jones is playing he's not just playing better. Don't talk about development. Yeah, he's playing better than he has in years past, obviously. He is playing at a top 10 level out of any quarterback in the NFL right now.
Peter, will you reach down and take this young man's temperature?
He is playing at one of the most efficient. He's playing some of the most efficient football in the league right now at the quarterback position. Because that team with that run game, this defense is getting healthy now. Adoree Jackson is back. Xavier McKinney's back. And there's one more guy, Drew, you're going to have to remind me that I'm missing off the top of my head, that's coming back now.
Azeez
Ojulari, pairing him with Kayvon Thibodeau, pairing him with Leonard Williams, and just this whole, this team is ready to play football. And they played them close last time. I said if they play again in the playoffs, I guarantee you that the Giants win this game.
Playoffs?
Don't worry about the +3. Take them on the money line. The Giants are absolutely going to win this football game. And I'll take it one step further. That's absolutely going to get clipped and replayed at some point. That if the Giants win this game, this is a team that's destined for an NFC Championship game.
Whoa!
Okay. Hold on.
I knew I liked this guy.
Would you repeat this, Mr. Jets fan?
I'll say it again. Well, listen. Can I ration it out first too? Because
absolutely.
So they win this game against the Vikings, then they get either the Bucs or the Cowboys, I believe, if I'm not wrong, right? I think.
Yes.
They are absolutely. I think they beat either of those teams. They are red hot, and they are more prepared than Mike McCarthy would be, and more prepared than Todd Bowles would be. Both those teams are on the decline at the wrong time.
Hey, and Jacob, I have this cup. If you can just urinate it real quick for us, just.
The Giants will beat the Bucs if they play them in the next round, which is what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
And the Giants, I think, would beat the Cowboys if they played.
And Jacob, that was some great insight. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure you're going to, after I get off, you're going to be like, all right, that's what you don't check out.
Wait.
If you want rational football knowledge, you can keep watching the Sports Web. But yeah,
On to wrestling.
On to wrestling. I'm trying to get to WrestleMania in LA next year. So if anyone wants to help me do that, that would be beautiful. But
see, he likes wrestling too. That's what we do here on the Sports Web.
No, if you want to go to WrestleMania, all you got to do is go, hey, Daddy, you want to stroke me a check? Can I get some of those airline miles? I
tried. You know what he said?
What's he say?
Oh, he has this nonverbal cue. I forgot what it was. Oh, it's that. That's what it was.
Those where that's the New Jersey State Bird.
Yes,
the State Bird of New Jersey.
State Bird.
I love your
the Golden Finch. It's not the Golden Finch.
But you can check me out. YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hard Count Football on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at Jacob Charnow, TikTok at Jacob Charnow, Instagram at Hard Count Football. I always love coming on. Enjoy wildcard weekend, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll be back on. I'm sure it's gonna. I don't know, man. It's gonna be something.
It sure is.
be
It's going to
something.
be something, all right.
Yeah.
Jacob, thank you so much for
yeah.
coming on, little brother.
Appreciate it, guys. I'll talk to you later.
You take care. That
David,
was pretty insightful. I'm never
Yes.
going to say that's not what you do and you want better knowledge, you just listen. But you heard it from him. He said if you want better knowledge, all you have to listen is to us when he's gone. That's what he said.
That's
Here,
what he
look-
said. We didn't say that. He said that.
No,
He
He
did.
did.
He
He did.
said
He did.
that. He said that. Now,
He
he's
did.
actually got a really good opinion, and I do want to talk about that game for a minute, especially with the Giants. Yes, I do think the Giants are going to be running the hot hand. I'm not too sure they beat either one of the following two teams because I, too, also have the Giants upsetting the Minnesota Vikings this week. I'm not going to say play him so much on the money line, tread lightly, but definitely take the 3 points. But it wouldn't shock me to see the G-men actually do that. No, it's not destiny, okay? Danny Jones has turned the ball over a lot less than he has in the years past.
Correct.
I don't believe that Brian Daboll is the coach of the year this year. Who do they give it to?
Doug
I
Peterson.
don't know. Doug Peterson.
Doug
possibly.
Peterson. He turned around the Jacksonville Jaguars in the Urban
Oh,
Easy.
Yeah.
Dable.
Easy. Mr.
Listen, the
Two balls per
Jaguars
unit.
had a quarterback. The Jaguars had a quarterback that we knew was young, had promise. Dable literally molded a roster of poo and made it a playoff team.
You say poo?
Poo. This is the worst roster than last year.
Back to the comments. Mr. Roger Shue said Justin Fields to Mike Evans, touchdown Bears. Roger Shue says Bulls getting fired after loss to Cowboys.
I don't think it's going to be Todd Bowles. I think it's going to be Byron Leftwich if they do lose to the Cowboys or whenever they do lose. That's going to be Byron Leftwich, not
To the
Todd
Cowboys.
Bowles.
Hump Day 391. Rumor has it that CJ Stroud is staying at Ohio State. I have heard the same thing. Hump Day also says has a major NIL deal. Hump Day, how does that change things? Well, it changes a lot of things because now there's going to be more teams vying for one quarterback rather than having two quarterbacks.
Yep.
Well, that's
So-
not necessarily true now. There's the quarterback out of Kentucky. He's up also up
No,
there.
I know he's
Yep,
up there.
as I say.
There's going to be more people going to be vying, okay,
Correct.
for that one top tier quarterback that everybody's talking about in this draft. So yes, the draft capital can probably get enhanced even more to get him. I don't know why Andrew is laughing. You want me to go off with your head? Oh, here's the little giant.
Oh,
gnome
geez.
thing.
Listen, it's a little giant gnome.
Roger Shue says, Pete, I bet the vegan lunch on the Viking G-Men game. He's buying me lunch.
All
David
right.
Mosier says, I got the Vikings in the close one, 24-20. That very well can be. But that means you also like the Vikings to cover the 3
Nope.
points. Drew, who do you like and why?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what was said already about the game. I mean, the big thing is the fact that this is the first time this defense has been fully healthy together, literally all season long. Having Adoree Jackson back there, who's been a shutdown corner basically all season long, to now go against Justin Jefferson. And let's be honest, he's not going to stop him, but he might control him somewhat. And that's the key of what you got to look at. And the last 2 weeks, Justin Jefferson did basically nothing for the Vikings, too. So I'm here wondering if he's hurt even or what's going on. This guy was going for a record a couple weeks ago and then put up, 45 yards the last 2 weeks? That's insanity. The other big thing that the Giants had to figure out a way to stop is TJ Hawkinson. He has not been talked about enough. Look at what he did against us the first week.
He's also dropped.
Over 100 yards, had 2
He's also
touchdowns.
dropped. He's also dropped his fair share of passes.
He has, but he wrecked the Giants, who have a history of the last 10 years of not being able to cover good tight ends. The big thing is not only is Adoree back, but also Xavier McKinney is back as well. We had half our secondary out that game, and the Giants should have won that game. They were the better team that week. They had the issue of turnovers. They had a block punt that gave them the 27-yard line. I think the Vikings got the ball at. I mean, there was so much the Giants did. The Vikings didn't win that game. The Giants lost it. And it's not going to happen again. The Giants are too well a coached team to have that happen twice against the same team.
And you can say that, nothing personal, about 3 or 4 of the wins that the Giants had that they never should have won. Okay, and I've watched
I'll say it
this
point
team.
blank.
Okay, and I've watched this team very closely this year. And I'm going to tell you right now, this team is either really bad or they're going to be actually pretty decent. I didn't say really good. I said they could be pretty decent, but they do have that momentum walking into the playoffs. Peter, who do you like and why?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to like the Giants in this game because, yes, the Vikings have an explosive offense, but what's the Achilles heel of this Vikings team? Their defense. So, look, if the Giants can do what they've done all year long, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Daniel Jones doesn't turn over the ball. You put the rock in Saquon Barkley's hands and you play great defense, you can beat this Vikings team. I would take the Giants in a close one.
It's a clean sweep, ladies and gentlemen. Take the New York Giants in this game. On to the next game. You got the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, my God. What the heck? Right. The Ravens.
This guy sucks.
Yep.
Anybody else got deja vu?
Catching 8.5 points at Cincinnati. Total's 40.5. You can't ask for a lower over or under. I'm going to tell everybody to go to Texas in this game. It's a divisional game. There's nothing. Listen to me. Be very careful betting this game because Cincinnati is the far superior team in this game. But don't be surprised you see them going into the tank and playing very conservative. And then in the fourth quarter, then they try to pull away a little bit. I do not see this game being a blowout like everybody else does. Just not because Baltimore is going to be playing that good. It's because Cincinnati's not going to want to show all their cards. They're already looking forward to next week. Andrew?
Yeah, respectfully, I'm going to disagree. I think it's going to be an absolute blowout. I really do. I wish Lamar Jackson was playing in the game to make it at least, manageable and a good game, but it's going to be an absolute blowout. It's going to be.
So you like
repeat of last week all
Cincinnati
over again? Yeah,
perfect, Peter.
Cincinnati lay the wood at this point. I mean, they've got an explosive offense. The Ravens at this point don't have a quarterback. They already have the Lamar Jackson distraction going on. He came out on Thursday night and had this well-crafted statement of, my knee's messed up. But basically, to me, Lamar Jackson is done with the Ravens. The Ravens are done with Lamar Jackson. And, guys, that may be a quarterback out there that's going to be on that trade market. Bengals big in this game. Lay the wood.
You know what? Here's a better question for you. What's going to be the bigger blowout, San Francisco against Seattle or Cincinnati against Baltimore?
Cincinnati versus Baltimore.
Cincinnati and Baltimore.
Yeah.
Okay, then why Cincinnati, Baltimore only 8 points and the 49er game is 10? Just do me a favor. Chew on that for a little bit. Because to the average general public, I would have to agree with you that Cincinnati. And you know what? Vegas isn't stupid. This team is looking ahead of Baltimore. This team will beat Baltimore. They're just not going to have to show all their cards. They just want to get out of this game healthy. It kind of makes sense.
But to that point, though, Vegas has also been wrong this year. You look at the Texans with that over-under number with the line being 10, 15 points against Philadelphia, making it close. I just don't think they give Seattle enough credit. I don't. I think Pete Carroll knows he's got the experience as a playoff coach. You look at the other side, Brock Purdy's played tremendous. But again, this is
you can say the same thing about Harbaugh now. I'm not defending.
Right.
I'm not defending Baltimore. They are an inferior ball club. I'm just, on the sports web, okay, we're always giving you something to think about.
Well, very nice.
Okay? So this is what I'm trying to say. If you lined up these 4 teams, 2 different fields, you would say Cincinnati would be the bigger favorite. But since I've already told you that Frisco's the bigger favorite versus Seattle against a number one quarterback in Geno Smith with their number 1 versus the Baltimore Ravens playing the 3rd string quarterback, you'd call me a liar. There's something there. That's why you have to read between the lines, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you have to sit there and you have to study things and what I'm trying to explain to you. There's a reason why this game is 8.5 points because they're trying to get you to bet it. It could be a trap game. Let me tell you something. If this game was 8.5 points and this was for Cincinnati fighting for the division, they beat this team by 40. This is 8.5 points because Vegas is saying, be very careful. We're going to have to get some action here because Baltimore is going to come out playing and they're going to be scrappy. But Cincinnati doesn't have to show all their cards. They have to stay healthy for next week. There's still a couple more games to go before you hit the Super Bowl. That's why I'm saying it wouldn't surprise me to see Cincinnati. And I'm not trying to talk out of both sides of my mouth to see Cincinnati absolutely blow them away, but it's going to be highly unlikely. And I'm going to give you one step further. I like Baltimore for the first half. Not to win the game, but they're going to be getting 5.5 and 6 points because that's how close to the vest this game is going to be. You're going to see a lot of running. Hey, guys, Baltimore's defense isn't bad. They're going to get after Burrow, okay? You got Roquan Smith on the other side of that ball. They're going to get after him. There's a reason why it's only 8.5-point favorites. And that's the reason right there, because they're going to play close to the vest. That's what this is telling me. If you cannot play Baltimore in the first half, stay away from the game. Because I'm telling you now, it wouldn't surprise me to see Baltimore cover. Do not play this game. I do not like it at all. That's just my opinion. Drew, Peter, that's really great insight what you have, but it kind of makes a little bit more sense the way I explain it.
Sure.
Cincinnati looks like the sexier pick versus San Francisco, don't they?
Sure they do. Absolutely.
Because of what they're going up against.
Correct.
You know, but that's just
it's
the point
also
I'm
a
trying to
division
make.
game. I just think it's different. I think
So is Frisco, and Frisco's going up against their number one.
Yeah.
Again,
the number one's still Geno Smith.
Who, by the way,
I can't get past it. I can't get past it.
Into the middle part of the year, people were calling him what? They had him as comeback player of the year, number one. And by the way, there were chants out there for MVP.
I mean,
what about
the way
the second
one
half,
point.
though?
Not in the second half, correct. But that's the point I'm trying to make. You're talking about two division games that are in the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Two very overpowering favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And one's only 8.5 versus 10.5. There's something wrong there. If it's too good to be true, generally, it is. It's just too good to be true.
I mean, it also is the fact that you're talking about the quarterback difference, but it's also the defense difference. Baltimore still has a good defense, still has a bad defense.
That's a good thing.
Well,
That's
Baltimore,
true.
their secondary is not good, so you can try to match up with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and that's not a good matchup. So that's where I see it.
No.
And you watched last week. I mean, I get it. The game did mean something, but they got the doors blown off.
Peter, it's all predicated on how much pressure you get on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I rewatched that game. Let me tell you something. Baltimore barely blitzed. Okay, they were so vanilla it wasn't even funny. And I this is why I'm telling you, tread lightly here. I'm not saying Baltimore's beating Cincinnati. I just think that Cincinnati's just going to try to get out of this game as healthy as possible. It wouldn't surprise me. It comes down to a late fourth quarter field goal and Baltimore loses. It just wouldn't surprise me. Now, it would have surprised me if Baltimore turned the ball over 6 or 7 times and then gave them short fields and then they win by 30. No, it wouldn't.
Brown at the controls, absolutely. I mean, he's a third string quarterback. There's a reason. You know, third string quarterbacks don't come in typically,
but that defense is going to come in and they're going to come in ready to play. And by the way, here's a prop bet. Do you like Baltimore over under 7.5 points for the first half? And get this, they're plus 150.
I don't know. I don't know if I like Baltimore in that first half. I don't see how Anthony Brown's going to do anything with that offense.
All right, let's get back to the Dallas Tampa game.
Yeah.
Anybody want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, definitely want to talk about that.
How about Dallas?
I know Peter does.
A 3.5. How about Dallas being a 3.5 point favorite? Now they're a 2.5 point favorite, ladies and gentlemen, and 88% of the time that typically means that the home team will cover and if not win.
Hold on.
And here comes Eddie Gross.
That's it. There you go. Ed, welcome back to the evolution here on the over-under. What do you have to say?
You're crazy, Harry. The
I know.
This game.
I'm sorry.
You know what, Harry? I'm really feeling you now. I feel you. You're a hater.
Ed. Hold on.
Let him speak.
Hold on. Ed, listen really closely, because I know you want to be mad or some reason.
Why is he mad?
Okay, but listen.
He can choose to be what he wants.
Ed, listen to me.
Hater.
He just said that the 88% rule, which Dallas in the game, favors the home team. That would be Tampa. He's saying Tampa's going to win this game and they're going to cover. What are you talking about?
Because just a few minutes ago, he was trying to say that Mike Evans was a free agent and he was going to be gone.
I said he could be a free agent, but he's not.
He's constantly saying that Brady's going to be gone next year. He's trying to dismantle the Bucs.
He's not trying to dismantle.
I'm going to do that for you. Ed, stop it.
Ed, come on, Ed. Come on. There's no dismantling of the Bucks. The Bucks are going to dismantle the Bucks. We talk about possibilities and all kinds of things that could happen with this team.
Yep.
Mike Evans is out there, has been mentioned with the Bucks trying to trade him away. I don't think it's going to happen, but I don't know. It may. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it should happen.
Let's put it this way, Ed.
Yeah.
I hope that he doesn't go to Chicago because I definitely don't want to. I don't want a wide receiver that's on the other end of his career. You have to pay him that kind of money.
Okay.
He deserves to stay in Tampa Bay. He needs to retire a Buccaneer. It would be wonderful.
13th season, and he's on the other end of his career. You just totally lost me.
He's 31. He's 31 years old. Okay. At the end of the day, he is losing.
But he's still getting it done.
I get it. He is still
I
getting
didn't say he wasn't. Let me finish my statement. That's why they call it the over-under on the sports web. My statement is this. He's on the other end of his career. He deserves to retire as a Buccaneer. He's had a hell of a career. He should be, in my opinion, a first ballot Hall of Famer. Will he be? Probably not, because there's so many that are out there. It might be a second ballot. That's unfortunate. But don't be surprised. And it's not me that's just coming up with this concocted thing. Where do you think I get this from? It's the pundits, the people that will forget more about this game than you or me combined. Okay. But from a handicapper's perspective, you can't get mad at an opinion. Okay?
No, you can't get mad.
Number one, I am not a sports. Hold on. I need to set the record straight because I could tell the tension with Ed. And I'm going to need to explain this to him and he'll understand a little bit more. I am a prognosticator, Ed, okay? And I pick over 70% of the games correctly. That's why sometimes I have a tendency of leaning away from these games. I notice you're first to call up to a phone and tell someone when they're wrong, but you're last to call up when the guy is right. Now, I said, and I'm not trying to dismantle Brady. Let me make it real public. I am not a fan of Tom Brady, okay? I'm not. I am not a fan of somebody who thinks he's bigger and better than the entire team. Okay. And shame on any organization that's going to let that happen. But let me tell you something. This Tampa Bay team is limping into the playoffs with a sub 500 record. And because you got a guy by the name of Tom Brady, you automatically think you're going to get anointed a Super Bowl? No, that's not what it is. I am not a fanboy. I am a person that speaks from reality, Ed. I would love to see the Buccaneers go to the Super Bowl and win it all. But I'm not a fan of Tom Brady because he's not a fan of the game like he once was. And that's just my opinion. It doesn't make it right. You are entitled to your opinion just like anybody else. And as far as Mike Evans is concerned, sir, this is what ESPN, Mike Garafolo, and every pundit is talking about, that the Chicago Bears are looking at 2 wide receivers. And unfortunately, Ed, they have 10 times the cap space than the Buccaneers have, and they can go out and get this guy and pay for him. It's either him or DeAndre Hopkins. Those are one of the 2 wide receivers that are probably going to be a Chicago Bear. And I hope they don't go get Mike Evans because he needs to retire a Buck. I hope that helps you.
And I think, and Evans, listen,
and
Evans.
Let me tell you something. I'm not mad. Let's get the record straight. I'm not mad. I hear this from people all the time. People hate the Bucks.
I don't hate the Bucks.
I'm not saying that you're. I mean, I did say you're a hater, but you know what? I don't know for sure. You might be you're just prognosticating.
Well, let's just say this. I don't care if you think I'm a hater. Okay, let me be very, very, very blunt about that statement. I don't care if
that
people
hatery
think I
drinking?
hate something.
And then
Because my job is to be an optimistic individual who gives you both sides. I haven't lied about anything.
No.
Okay, I told you when this offensive line stunk.
Well, the offensive line has stunk all year long, and now, and just going back to Brady's comments on his Let's Go podcast, they've been the most healthy that they've been all year long. So that is a good thing.
I hope that momentum pushes them into the playoffs.
Right.
I got a question for Ed before we talk about the game.
Sure.
Ed, I love your spirited conversations.
Wow.
And just be honest.
Wow.
Okay. Do you think that this team, if they had Derek Carr this year, do you think this team would still be sub 500?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to tell you I don't think so, and I'm going to give you the reason why. And then I
Nope.
want you to tell me why.
Then Brady is?
No, hold on. I didn't say he was better than Brady.
No, is he more mobile?
Yes, he
Yes.
is.
Yes.
Okay, well, only a more
Yeah.
mobile
I'm more
quarterback
mobile than Brady.
is better with his offensive line.
I think you're right.
Okay, so can we agree to disagree during this big shambles that this team has had this year? Do you think this team would have won more games with Derek Carr under center just so he could elude the pocket and give him that extra 1 second to hit Mike Evans wide open downfield?
Possibly.
Okay, good. At least I got something out of it,
Okay, that's good.
possibly.
Good job.
See,
Good
because
job.
those are the things that I see. Ed, 2.5-point favorites are Dallas. Totals 45.5 points. I want to ask you, do the Bucks cover the 2.5 and win the game? Does Dallas do it? Do you like the over or under? Who do you like and why?
You know what? I hate predicting scores, especially with the Bucks, because you never know which Bucks team's going to show up. But I got a feeling they're going to win by 3.
Okay. So
All
the
right.
Bucks win by 3. So they're going to cover the 2.5 points, which is perfect. Actually, you got them on a 5-point swing. Do you like over or under 45 for the total points between both teams?
Under.
And I agree with Ed. Thank you so much for calling in, Ed. You are really spirited. I love it.
Appreciate it, Ed. Thanks a lot for the call.
How about them Bucks, baby?
All right. I was just trying to set the record straight. I mean, again, I don't think you're a hater. I think you're a realist about it. Can I be a little bit of a homer sometimes? Yes, I can. But
Of
I
course
also,
you can.
Yes.
but I also tell the truth with this team. You shut up, Andrew. Be quiet. The truth about this team, when Brady plays bad, we talked about it. He plays bad. He's not making throws down the field. But the last couple weeks here, this team seems like they've gotten their stuff together. Whether it's Carolina or not, we saw this team lose to Carolina earlier on and have no chance with something different. If they're getting healthy offensively and defensively, they definitely have a chance. And I'll throw this statistic out at you. 12 touchdowns, 10 interceptions in the first 3 quarters this year for this Bucs offense with Brady at the controls. In the fourth quarter, 13 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Now, can they afford to continue to play like that? I guess if you have Brady in the fourth quarter, you can. But I'm a little bit worried about that. But at the end of the day, this is Brady's season. This is the post.
This ain't Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen, and this
You're
is
right.
not Carolina.
Nope.
These are the Dallas Cowboys coming in with the top-rated defense, who is subject to a couple of areas. But let me tell you something. When you got one Micah Parsons that are going to be breathing down your neck, and you're not a mobile quarterback with a fresh offensive line coming in, and when I say fresh, I'm not talking about seasoned. I'm talking about fresh, meaning they're just getting back together to start playing. You better have all your eggs in one basket because this Dallas team is coming to play. But I'll tell you the play I do like, Pete.
And eggs are expensive.
You ready?
Yes.
The total over and under points in the first half for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is 9.5. If you like it to go over 9.5, you got to lay 130. You got to lay $30 juice. And you know what? I always said, if you think it's coming in, don't worry about the juice. You lay it anyway. And that's one thing the Greek's going to give you. Play the over 9.5 in the first half. Peter, who do you like and why?
I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, the momentum is on their side. Dak Prescott, 7 games with an interception. Could it be 8? I think it definitely could be. I mean, this guy against the Washington Commanders last week was not good. He's lost his confidence. They have to run the ball. And again, to throw this statistic out there, when the Bucs have Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks, they are 6-1 and allowing teams only 89 yards of rushing a game. When they're without one of them, they are 2-8. Guess what, guys? They're going to have them both on Monday night. Bucs win.
Absolutely. Andrew, who do you like and why?
Yeah, I'm going to say this real quick as well, too. If J.C. Horn was in that game, this game's in Carolina. Just calling it right now. But you know, the big thing is Dallas played horrible last week, obviously. 45.8 rating for Dak Prescott in the game, 2.4 yards per carry for the running backs against the Commanders. I think it was just a case of the Cowboys were looking past the Commanders and already thinking about the playoffs. I just think they're obviously much better than that, though I do think Dak is just throwing the ball way, way too often to the team, and that's pretty obvious to anybody watching. I got the Bucs to lose this game, though I'll tell you this, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I am rooting for you guys like you would not believe. I want the Bucs to win. I despise the Cowboys with an absolute passion, but I think they're the better team.
Cowboys
That is-
have not won a game since 1992 on the road, and on grass this year, they're 1-4. Everything is pointing to it. I get it. I understand it. But to me, Dak is what he is. He's a quarterback this year that has led the NFL with interceptions. And I tell you
Missing
another
5
thing.
games.
Yeah, I'm missing 5 games, which is scary. I know here you want to get to it, but we got our guy right here.
Who is it?
Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy.
I want to answer it.
Second
Yes.
call.
Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy's live on the over-under on the sports web. What's happening, little brother?
The Legions.
I'm live out in front of your house, Mr. Harry the Great. The thing is, I think what we have to talk about here is what we need to see from this Buccaneers team this week is we need to see a blueprint of exactly what we saw in week 1. We need to see Tom Brady with 27 attempts or less, not 50 attempts. We need to see Leonard
Preach on, Ray.
and Rashad White get over 100. One of the two at least go. Fournette had 137 yards rushing that first game that we held the Cowboys to 3 points. And you're right, Mika's going to come in here hot, and the national media's done nothing this week but stoke the fires about McCarthy's going to be gone and Dak's off his game and this and that. And they're just setting it up because it's the big game of the weekend. We got some great football, but this is the Monday night matchup. This is what the NFL wanted. They gave ESPN this beautiful Monday night game, but the Buccaneers have to stick with that same blueprint. You got to get the rush going, use the home field advantage, and keep the ball out of Dak's hands. The less chances that kid has to get off, the better chances the Buccaneers have.
Great phone call. Hey, Ray, don't go anywhere because I got a question for you. And I got a question for everybody on the panel here. Okay.
Yes.
Dallas was a 3.5-point favorite, and the line has shrunk to 2.5 points. And that's the 88% rule. You always go with the home team, yada, 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 because when the road favorite's 2.5 points. But after the embarrassing loss that Dallas faced on the road at Washington, okay?
Yes.
Why is Dallas even favorite in this game on the road? Hold on, before you answer this. Is it because the pundits and Vegas think that Tampa Bay is just not that good? Honestly.
I think based on the face value of the performances they've turned in and the lack of consistency and the inability to find their true. We've seen a couple of chances. We've seen this Buccaneers team try to set their identity, but they really don't have one. And Harry, I don't know how I know lines can't move that crazy, but man, I don't know why, but in my heart, I feel that this is a pick'em game before kickoff on Monday night. I really do. I think that the money's going to start moving. I think the national media is loving it. I think that I've never seen the national media prognosticate and talk about, McCarthy's going to fail and how bad they looked against the Washington football team. And I think that they're enjoying watching this line go down. And I think it continues to go down. And I don't think it's based just because the good money's going behind Tampa. I just think that people are going to start realizing that at the end of the day, this is going to be a pick'em game. It really should be, because if the Buccaneers team that's been showing up half this season shows up, they're going to put themselves behind the 8 ball. But if the team that showed up in the first half against Cincy or in a game against Carolina 2 weeks ago shows up, it's going to be one hell of a game. And I'd like the Buccaneers to cover it. And I think the Buccaneers win 35-17.
Wow, that's a really strong one. Now, Ray, I'm going to give you the same question I talked to the last caller about because Ed called me a hater, but that's okay.
I heard Ed. Yeah, Ed's passionate. We love Ed. Ed's good.
I love Ed. Ed's passionate. But I have a question for you. It's going to be the same question I'm going to pose to you that I posed to Ed. I asked Ed. And that question is this. The Buccaneers are under 500 entering the playoffs. Okay?
Playoffs.
And do you think this team, with the offensive line that they had prior to the playoffs, do you think this team would have been above 500 with Derek Carr under center than Tom Brady with the current staff that they had?
Wow, Harry. I mean, Tom pulled us out. He brought us back that Saints game, drove us down the field. I can give you 2 victories that he secured himself, but I can tell you that if we had Derek Carr or we had a quarterback who could move out of the pocket and maybe wasn't as worried about not taking the sack, but sometimes holding on to that ball, creating a little more time in the pocket and getting passes, I think it'd be a push. I honestly think it'd be a push. I think we'd lose the 2 that Tom got us, but we could also gain the 2 that we lost because of no offensive output. But I mean, I wouldn't give him any more credit than Tom Brady. But yeah, I think Tom's seen some ghosts this year. I really have. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I like the question. I don't think Derek Carr would have us above 500, but I think we'd be about the same boat we're in right now.
I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would have finished the season with 11 wins, and then I'd have to hand the ball back over to Tom Brady. Now that the offensive line is as healthy as it is now, I'd have to hand the ball back to him. I was talking about when that offensive line was not as healthy. And yes, Derek Carr would be able to step up in the pocket, but there was no stepping up because every time you snapped the ball, that pass rush was coming right through the middle like it was nothing. It looked like Swiss cheese.
But hey, guys, if we had Josh Rosen at quarterback, forget about it.
Oh my God, Josh Rosen.
Oh,
This guy sucks.
Love Josh. Can you say it with me, everybody?
Yes.
Put their hands together. Josh Rosen, Josh Rosen, Josh Rosen, Josh Rosen.
That's great enough to suck right there.
Hey, guys, great.
That's great
on
enough.
his 10th team in 3 years.
Have me, and I'll talk to you guys.
Hey man, Ray, thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and I appreciate it. But
Hey, Ray.
you take care of yourself, man. Thank you so much for
Take it
calling
easy,
back. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Ray
Yes, sir.
Kennedy. Great guy, great insight.
Yes.
Loves his Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but you know what he loves even more? He loves the National Football League. Hell of a writer. If you ever get a chance to ever want to read some of the stuff that he puts out there, he used to put it out on different platforms, but just go to Ray Kennedy at Facebook. And I'm telling you right now, he's got some really good insight, especially the articles that he's written from before. Let's just go ahead and kind of wrap this up a little bit. But before we do that, I'd like to go ahead and read some of the comments. David Mosier says, I got the Vikings in a close one, 24-20. Roger Shue says, Bears win NFC North next year. Roger says, I think it'll be 31-13 Cincinnati. Very well could be. Harry, how much time do you put in each week for your handicapping? You know, Roger, that's a really good question. Quite a bit. And I get a lot of tapes, and I can watch a game in the course of 10 minutes, the entire game, because I get to see all the plays rather than listening to the announcers, and I get to watch the snaps and the defensive alignments and what the motion's going to be, and I can break it back and forth. And that's how I basically look at things, and I look for matchups. But that's a great question. How much time? Probably about 25 hours a week.
Wow.
Roughly about 25 hours a week. And sometimes out of those 25 hours, that's why you only get 2 games for me, or maybe even 3. You know, you can't, you like there's an old saying in gambling, if you're at the horse races, you can beat a race, but you're never going to beat the races. So there's no sense in handicapping. You got to handicap every game to figure out which games you like the most. Just like in races, there's 10 or 12 races in a performance. You can go through the entire card, but you can't bet every race. You have to find the races you really like. And I don't want to hear the people say you can't win every race unless you bet every race. It doesn't work like that. Trust me. Christopher Cole says Godwin is the comeback player of the year. Could be.
Definitely
Could be.
Saquon.
Had a really good season. Oh, Saquon. That's true. Saquon Barkley. Roger Shue says Pete is more mobile than Brady. He's absolutely correct.
Yes.
David Mosier says, damn it, Harry, you almost got away with being a Buccaneer hater if it wasn't for Ed and his damn dog.
Cue it, Peter.
We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Thelma and who?
You know, I was going to say that before. No, yeah, not Louise.
Not Louise. It's Thelma
Velma
and
and
to the
Daphne.
stage.
Velma.
No, I call her
Velma.
Thelma. Came from Chicago. Okay, Velma. Corey King says NFL street football better than NFL football field.
What's
I don't understand it. Corey King Brown says Bills 35-10 Dolphins and Bengals. Bills 35-10 Dolphins 20.
What?
I'm sorry. Bills 35-10 over the Dolphins. Bagels 27-24 over the Ravens. Jaguars 20-17 over the Chargers.
Wow.
Bucks 27-17 win. Vikings 31-24 over the Giants, and the 49ers 41-10 over the Seahawks. David Mosier says if we don't get a pass rush, this might be a long game. No, your pass rush is going to be there. Don't worry about that. Eric says about Mark Jackson. How about Aaron Rodgers? How about Carey from, we could get a Cincinnati bingo. That would be great too.
I think he's talking about the Bucs quarterback situation. Lamar Jackson being out there possibly. I mean, look, the Ravens can still franchise him. I mean, a lot of Bucs fans out there want a quarterback that not only can throw from the pocket but be mobile. That's what you were talking about with Derek Carr.
Right, but there's a big difference. He can't throw from anywhere.
Uh,
And he'll be
Okay.
tagged.
He can't
Probably
throw
will.
from anywhere.
Well, he may not be tagged. I mean, the way the Ravens are going right now, who knows what's going to happen? They may move on.
That's why they already signed their other big free agent so they can tag him. That spot's wide open now. Tag away.
Tag away. Jay says, I just hopped on and I see you guys dancing to Scooby-Doo, laughing my ass off. Hilarious. Keep up the great work, guys. Play that Scooby-Doo for Jay.
Absolutely.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now.
Velma to the stage. Velma to the stage.
Hey, Rod, 620 WDA 95.3. Thanks a lot, man. Old CSB brother right there. Doing
What's
big-
up, Jay? How you doing, brother? Thanks for
95.
tuning in.
Yeah, I was thinking about
Killing.
I was thinking about Scooby too when you said before that the other game was going to be Scrappy.
Scooby-Doo. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Let's see here. Start.
Corey says, Bucks rebuild offensive line. Oh, God.
Oh God.
What?
You know what?
What?
I'm glad Jay's out there. Jay, I'm gonna put you on the spot here, and I brought up some points. You probably don't know who I am, but that's cool. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the regular season this current year had Derek Carr under center with that offensive line, do you believe that this team would still be under 500? Just a simple yes or no in the comment. I would really appreciate it.
Can I answer the question?
Sure.
Yeah, we didn't answer the question yet.
I mean, the fourth quarter comebacks at the end of the day definitely galvanized this team with Tom Brady, right?
Yep.
So you wouldn't have those wins. There would be losses. But then again, you have a more mobile quarterback. The offense, I think there's so many things there to say yes or no, right? I mean, it's so easy to say Derek Carr would be an upgrade over Tom Brady. Yeah, but this offensive line is.
I didn't necessarily say he was an upgrade.
Well,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't say he was an upgrade.
No,
He would have been an upgrade for this offensive line because just from a mobility standpoint.
Play calling wise, though, I mean, aren't you basically the same with Byron Leftwich at the end of the day? I mean, but you can complete those throws down the field, I guess. You could throw the ball deep, which is what Brady has struggled with this year. So, I mean, I don't know. That's a great question.
All right, listen. Everybody said he's lost a little bit of his arm strength.
Yeah.
When I was breaking tape down, okay, I want people to know he hasn't. Okay, he's throwing the ball in the air on some of these bombs to Mike Evans that are traveling 59 yards in the air. Okay,
Yeah.
that he's not lost his arm strength. Okay,
No, I don't think it's arm strength. I think it's accuracy. I think that's what's really
and
confounding.
why is the accuracy off, Pete?
Yep.
Because
Because
he
the pressure-
doesn't have the time.
There you
So
go.
the point I'm trying to make is I'm not trying to take your diehard Buccaneer fans
No.
and turn them into haters. I'm trying to get people to see things through a different set of eyes. Someone that actually watches the game, who breaks the tape down from a handicapper's perspective so he can make educated guesses to wager on.
Right.
Okay. But now that this offensive line is healed up, of course you want Tom Brady back under center.
Sure you do.
So you could say I hate him. You could say I hate the Bucks or anything else. That's just not true.
And-
I'm just not going to be a fanboy. I just never have been.
And then, and I'm not going to be a fanboy either, even though I got a Bucks flag in the back there and Mike Allstott. Yeah,
I think you're surrounded by Bucks gear. I'm not a fanboy.
I'm trying to be as effective as possible here, ladies and gentlemen. I've always tried to do that on the sports web. But at the end of the day, if you have a Derek Carr, you think he'll be able to complete those passes down the field. You also don't think that he's going to have those distractions. But again, it comes down to the offensive line. What was the worst injury that happened this year? Ryan Jensen being out. That's probably the worst injury they had.
Yep.
What was other? Ali Marpet retiring at the beginning of the year. That hurt the chemistry between Donovan Smith, who went from somewhat of a good left tackle to a guy that basically is a shell of himself when he first came into the league. And then at the end of the day, I've continued to say this, the coaching, BA is missing on this team. Now, we'll see what they do in the playoffs. With Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich. But again, you're in a good situation. You're healthy. There should be no excuses. You should beat the Dallas Cowboys, even though you're an 8-9 football team. Sean Payton talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Those type of teams are the most dangerous because they have nothing to lose at the end of the day, and they're also 4-2.
Andrew, you're going to make a point?
Let me ask you guys this, though, because, You mentioned, Harry, that he hasn't lost anything on his arm. He's still able to chuck the ball 59 yards, and I'm with you 100%. But what I'm getting at is what I think is going on is he's downing a bottle of Centrum Silver, and he's having to chuck the ball that much harder. He's losing some of his accuracy because of the age.
Okay, well, I can see that. So I'm going to pose the same question to you. Are they over 500 or under?
I'm going to say they're even worse without Brady because he's so good at getting rid of the ball so quickly because of the way this offensive line is. As much
Fair
as the
enough.
mobility is an issue, don't get me wrong, Derek Carr would have never gotten the ball out as quick as Brady does. He just is so good at reading the field. I'll say this, though, and people will say I'm crazy for this, so let me say this off the bat. Brady is the GOAT. All hail Brady. He is the GOAT. But when it boils down to it, with a healthy offensive line, I actually think Derek Carr would do better with this offense than Tom Brady does. Because once given the time, I think he gets the ball down the field better than Brady can.
And to that point, I mean, if Derek Carr is the quarterback, then BA is the coach of this team. Because as you know, at the beginning of the year, it was BA, the friction between Tom Brady. That was a real thing. If Brady's not a part of this team, and I get it, the greatest of all time, but BA is the coach, I feel a lot better with Derek Carr at the controls because I think you could have more offense because of what BA did the 2 years with Brady with this team having 30 points a game.
And Derek Carr had a lot of interceptions. It didn't necessarily have the best year, but I'll say this right off the bat is I'm going to give that much more to Josh McDaniels than I am him because he's just a shell of a coach and never should have been given a second team, let alone a third team after quitting 12 hours into his second job.
Exactly.
Anyway, guys, back to the comments really quick. Eric, could we get to the Raiders quarterback too? Eric again says the Buccaneers are going to be the second years after Tom Brady retires. Eric says
Buccaneers, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's what he says. Eric also says yes. David Mosier, I got you, Harry. Hell no. Eric says, hey. Eric says, heck, no. Yeah, he would be. We would be under 500 if our life depended on it without Tom Brady. Okay, that's a fair assessment.
Okay.
David Mosier says, Harry, you've watched game tape. How many times have you seen 10 to 15 yards in front of Brady and him throw it in the dirt?
Yeah. Plenty of times.
I have seen it.
Yeah.
Corey says, Byron Leftwich cost us losses. Todd Bowles, no business with offense, only defense. That's a fair assessment. Eric says, let's fire... Who? Two Bows. Is that a good coach?
Yeah.
Who's he talking about?
I think he's talking about Bowles.
Oh, Todd Bowles. Got it.
Bowles.
Eric says, what
Bo
is...
Jackson?
No, what is
Bo
stop,
knows.
stop, stop? You're being fanboys. All your dating life with your life depending on it. Stop talking so...
This guy sucks.
Bro, seriously, you're watching us here right now. So what the hell are you talking about? I mean, we may be fanboys and we may be talking about football.
Fanboy.
You should be out on a date instead of watching the show, and yet you're watching the show. Let me know when you have a show, okay? How about that?
Oh, Eric, but thanks
Hold
for the
on.
comment. We do like it.
Go on a date after you watch the show. After you watch the show. Watch the show and then go on the date. That's the order of importance
it's
here.
amazing.
Okay?
I say, Eric, go on, take the show with you on a date and show them, hey, check out these guys. Huh?
I say, Eric, go to hell. How about that?
Ooh.
Oh, don't you say that. I
Hey,
like
how about
Eric.
that? I say, Eric, go
Also,
to hell.
each of you have your own device to watch it on because you up the viewership then.
How about
I
that?
think someone touched a little nerve.
No.
We gotta fire it up.
I just think he's trying to.
He's about as red as that jersey behind him.
I think he's in control, and the dude is watching us do our show. You know, I always get I get incensed by this. People trying to troll us and what we do. You guys, some of the people out there, you don't even know half of what we do. You don't even have any idea what kind of work we put in here. So if you're gonna judge us, please go ahead and give to Facebook stars and also YouTube likes. There you go.
Eric also says, all you guys go to hell. Does send me the
Good recovery. Good recovery.
Yeah, good job. Way to go.
Eric says, I do have a show, you douchebags. It's on Madden. You do even play that smack. I actually, I'm not that good at Madden, to be honest with you. But, Eric.
We call me a D-bag, so I was like, that's good.
I do know that this man over here does play a lot of Madden.
I'll give you some
You
work.
just said you smell like a warm summer's breeze.
Oh, there you go.
Summer breeze. David Mosier says, you know, a hit in the nerve in Peter when he throws his hands up after hitting the buttons.
Hey, Eric, here's what Brady has to say about your comments tonight.
That's good enough to suck right there.
All right, let's just play a little Scooby Doo for Eric.
Sure, go ahead. Nope, it gets this.
This guy sucks.
Now, give me the Scooby Doo
Oh,
for
he
Eric.
gets this.
Oh,
Guy sucks.
He gets
give us
this.
the scoop.
He gets this.
Hold on,
He
Peter.
gets this.
Peter.
He gets this.
Peter.
Here, hold on. One more. Ready?
Peter.
Come.
Yes.
Peter.
Oh my God.
Play it for a Scooby snack.
His.
All right, we got Ed calling. Should we take the call?
Would you play
I
it
could
for a
talk to
Scooby
Ed for a
snack?
minute.
All right, Ed.
Am I gonna get screamed at?
Yeah, how do I get the Scooby Doo when you got guys like Eric on here? Come on, man. Seriously.
What are you talking about? What?
You guys gave me the Scooby Doo earlier.
Wow, look at this. Look at this. This guy is really something else. He's something. All right, now I'm not talking about you, Ed. I'm seeing the comments right.
Oh, okay. I got to bring this comment up because I need to explain. I need to.
You got Eric on here. You got Troy Pominalo.
Well, hold on. Eric says this guy sucks. Oh, come on, Eric. That's not nice, man. Why do you have Buccaneer post to your room 8? If you're going to be hating on the Bucks, that's what I see you crazy knuckleheads in the show. Okay, here. Well, number one, Eric, it's not a Buccaneer show. Okay, this show is posted on a lot of different platforms. Now, I'm in the Tampa Bay area. So's Drew. So's Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Peter covers the Buccaneers. Drew covers the Giants. I cover every team in the National Football League. The name of the show is the Over Under on the Sports Web. It's a gambling show, and I'm giving everybody something from a handicapper's perspective. But it's okay when you want to have a comment. But seriously, this one, that ain't straight, man. That's not even cool.
straight at all. It's
And
not
Eric says, stop talking smack about me crazy. I want to talking smack about you.
I'll talk smack about you if I want to. How about that? Knucklehead. You're a clown. You're a clown.
Eric,
Clown.
I'm having trouble reading some of your stuff.
I want to talk about. How about
Hooked
that?
on Phonics worked for me, okay?
Anyway, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Ed, what's your question, little brother?
I was just wondering, what? What'd you say?
Called
Say
you
again?
little brother. Yes. Called you little
What?
brother. Go ahead.
All right,
Yes.
all right. Hey, first of all, I just want to make it clear, I don't have a problem with the Greek, I'm just trying to spice him up a little bit, spice up the show.
Wow. Trying to push his
Hey,
buttons
go
a little
back.
bit.
Kick
Okay.
it up a notch.
Yeah, push back, You know what I'm saying? It's not. I'm sure I'm not bruising his ego at all. I'm
No.
sure I'm not doing it.
No, definitely the
So-
Greek is not losing sleep over what Ed thinks about.
Yeah.
He says.
So, second of all, I just wonder when you got guys like Eric making comments on your show like that, why do I get Scooby Doo? Obviously, I'm not. What he said was just ridiculous.
Scooby Doo is a term of endearment, okay?
Yes. Yes. What do you? Does everyone want Scooby Doo tonight? There you go.
No, I don't want the Scooby Doo.
All right. So,
I know what that's about.
Okay.
I know what that's about.
Oh.
all right.
Why? I like Scooby Doo.
Why? I don't either. The guy's asking if we're going to the game or not. Why do you care? Maybe you're going to the game. Maybe you're selling hot dogs at the game. I hope you're doing a great job with that.
We get
okay?
Peter.
Go ahead and stick to that. Stick to
Peter,
selling
stop.
hot
Can we get the
dogs.
Smurfs? Can we get the
What?
Smurfs theme song?
Give
Oh
it
my
to him.
gosh.
Mess with me on a Friday night. Talk about
So what
dating
are
and
you
all
trying
this
to
other
say? Oh,
shit.
is it asking you if he's going to the game? Why? And what if you are? So what?
Who cares if
What's
I'm
your
going
point?
to the game?
All
You're
right, here
watching
you go.
my
I'm
show.
just coming in a bunch of crap on the show because I don't even care. I'm just here watching to understand what your bets are against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Cowboys. Number one, I didn't say that. But since you did ask, I can educate you a little bit. This game, Dallas is favored by
just like
2.5 points. Hold on. They're favored by 2.5 points. And there's a thing called the 88% rule, Eric. The 88% rule follows this. If a road team at the time of the game is favorite by 2.5 points, 88% of the times the home team, which would be the Buccaneers, would cover, if not win the football game. So I wasn't saying that they were losing the game. Actually, it was just the opposite. It was the same problem that our caller has right now, who thought that I was saying the Bucks were losing the game.
It's selective
It's
amnesia.
right.
or
I understand that.
hearing.
I didn't say that. And yes, and you know what? Again, I prognosticate games. I do root for the Buccaneers. Am I going to the game this weekend? No. Can I? Absolutely. I'd rather watch it from the comfort of my couch. It's a little easier for me to be able to make the wagers that way.
Yes, and I rather do the sports web here live in Holiday for your enjoyment. So you can troll me and I can troll you on back.
That's good enough to suck right there.
David Mosier, if you want to piss the Greek off, all you have to say is the 85's defense is way overrated.
Overrated.
All right, that's it, Peter. That's it. There you go.
What's that?
Oh man.
Wait a minute. I want to tell you something though. Statistically,
Look, hold on.
listen.
My boy over here just got promoted.
Okay.
I'm kidding. What about him?
All right.
Statistically,
85 defense is one of the greatest
I'm
of
number
all time.
2.
Not
It's the
the
greatest.
greatest of all time. Hold on. Tell you what, let's go out to Roger Shue, the tribal. Acknowledge me. Welcome to the Sports Web. What do you have to say, my friend?
Peter Blake, acknowledge Scooby-Doo.
Okay, I acknowledge you right here.
Acknowledge me.
And I'm going to acknowledge you right here.
This guy sucks.
What do you want? What do you want? What are you bothering me for? What do you want? Sorry.
This show has been insane. People are trying to dog out you and the Greek, and what in the world is going on?
I don't know. I love it though.
Everybody loves me apparently.
I love
I have kind of a little bit of behind the scenes knowledge of what you guys do to put in the work for your shows. If the normal people knew, they could never do what you guys do.
No, not at all. Not at all. And this guy's like, oh, you guys are doing
I mean,
this
Peter,
and that."
I've known you for 20 years, and I have seen the work that you put in on a daily basis. It's insane.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So,
You're the
the
man.
By the way, Eric's also asking about our betting site. Our
And
betting
what's
site is mattressfirm.com.
There you go. Or Sleep Number, which, by the way,
I think he was talking about betting.
the
Okay.
Oh,
the
no.
Wagering. Be
the-
nice.
the betting
What kind
site.
of betting?
is,
Queen size, king size, California king?
Well, it's listen on Monday night. It's Sleep Number because hopefully this.
Oh,
Bucks
you guys
team
are
can-
assholes.
Listen, hopefully it's.
I never
it's
said otherwise.
listen, hopefully it's Sleep Number. This Bucks defense can put Dak Prescott to sleep. All right, go ahead, Roger.
No, you want Dak throwing the ball because he goes to the wrong team. You'll
That's
catch
true.
more balls that way.
That's true. There you go.
Peter, quit DMing me on Plenty of Fish. Leave me alone.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Get your ass out of here. You know what?
Anyway,
People-
Roger,
it's called
have a
people
good.
people.
The hell cares?
There you go.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was great. Thank you so much for calling in, Roger. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. For Drew, Peter, Drew, tell everybody where they can find you, brother.
Yeah, so as always, Two Giant Goofballs. I'm one of the co-hosts of that podcast, available on pretty much every podcast platform known to man. Of course, we're also on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
Peter Blake.
I'm just reading some of these comments. Yeah, definitely join me on Monday and Wednesday nights for the evolution of Sports Talk Television on I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports, and The Hub. And, of course, catch me on Monday night after the game. Do three things for me, guys, as it's playoff week. Bucks versus the Dallas Cowboys. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And Bucks Nation, it's your time. And for the guys out there who don't know what Rolex reporter means, Google it. Have a great night.
I'm just going to say also, Peter, you forgot to let people know where they can find you on Plenty of Fish because the ladies are going to get caught up in your web there.
Oh, there you go.
Eric says bitching ban. Betting, let's go betting crazy. Eric also says, let's have a party, let's get together. Here we smoke a bunch of weed. Let's smoke a bunch of we get together.
How about this?
This guy sucks.
Yeah, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to the Over Under on the Sports Web on 1252 Sports right out of Chicago and the other various platforms. I want to thank everybody for leaving comments tonight. Yes, even you, Mr. Eric. Thank you for the phone calls.
Thank you, Eric. You fired me up tonight. I was
Thank you,
kinda
Eric.
sick when you fired me up. Yeah.
But, and as I always end the broadcast, always bet responsibly, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and make some money out there like we have. We've been on fire this year. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be doing this show because I'll tell you what, you guys give me the inspiration. You can find me on the Sports Web Mondays and Wednesdays, and you can always find me on the over-unders, typically on a Sunday morning on 1252 Sports. My name is Harry the Greek. Thanks for tuning in. And as I always say, keep your bets low and your returns high. Have a good evening, everybody.